go in this fixture on a Sunday afternoon in a magnificent Perth. Umpire Matt Stevick to get it underway. Hill in the ruck. No bell chambers in this game here today. Gone with just the two ruckmen, and Hill and Ryder have the Bombers. Tackle immediately by Main.
And a different look at full forward for the Dockers. Michael Johnson. We'll keep our eye on Michael Johnson. He, I reckon, is playing for his spot in the side.
Here's Hill, a driving ball in the direction of Johnson. Up they fly. Good mark. Mazungu has taken the mark. 20 out.
Good start, Jono.
Great start. Fair grab, Pete. There was some talk he may have been floating across half-back today, across through the wing, through the centre of the ground, but to start up forward, have the immediate impact, be very good for his confidence.
So Mazungu will line up from 25 metres out, almost directly in front, and a certain goal opportunity here for the Fremantle Dockers. Hardingham stands the mark. Mazungu comes in and drills the goal. Dockers have got the first of the game.
Well, perfect start, Jared, for the Dockers, and it starts in the middle of the ground because there's a lot of talk around Sandland's not out there and how well they actually can go in that part of the ground. They were able to create another stoppage and then get a ball and then get a free kick on the back of that. But it was in a play on directly from that free kick. That was the key. Get that run, get that flow going. Got the ball in the hands of Hill, who puts it in deep, and Mazungu was good enough to get on the end of it.
Mazungu starts first for the Fremantle Dockers. They lead it by a goal in the opening minute of this game.
Well, you got McVeigh on Hill, and he's starting 10 metres off, just a bit more defensive on whereas Hill's further up on the wing.
Hill wins the tap. Mazungu come flying off the edge of the square at centre half forward and lays the tackle. Not bad. And he's got a free, and look how urgent he is to get it moving. Well done. Here's Johnson out in front. Probably should have made a better fist of taking the mark. Main there, surrounded by Bomber players. In the end, an opportunity for Clancy Pearce. Out wide, Ballantyne. Clark is in there. And we'll end up having a ball up here in the forward 50 for Fremantle.
It's been an early blitz. Got the first goal. Got the ball out of the centre twice now. Jono, they'd be feeling pretty good about themselves at the moment, the Dockers.
They certainly will. Interesting then that no one went to Pavlich on that stoppage. Just letting him go in that area of the ground is very dangerous.
Well, we'll get another look at it here, Jono, because we've got an immediate stoppage on top of this.
And you've got Crowley now going on to Joe Watson, which we probably anticipated coming into the match. Watson was allowed to roam free. They're probably going to go head-to-head at stoppages in some ways with Pavlich at the centre bounces.
Boundary umpire got too much zip on that as Pearce around the corner. Crowley running in the same direction. If he can gather, he can turn to goal. They've got their second inside 3 minutes. Fremantle off to a flyer.
And that's why Crowley is a dangerous tag. We'll pick it up here. He's on Watson. Watson goes back to the ball. Crowley just sneaks forward there. You can see there Watson is going ball watching. Crowley sneaking out the back. And as so often happens when things aren't running for you, the ball just snuck out in front. Crowley just gets onto a nice one. He's a really good speed type matchup for Crowley. Sometimes can be beaten for pace. But it's one that Jobe's going to have to address.
And that's what Jacko identified, certainly before the game. In the Great Wall matchup was this one exactly here that we're seeing on screen now, and that Crowley could push forward.
So Fremantle off to a very, very quick start here. Hill's done well with the taps in the middle so far. Mundy, the clearance is all Fremantle though. Pavlich to Bradley. Bradley looks back and finds Fife. Fife in real trouble, handballed, went in great trouble. Now Hurley.
No one forward.
So he had to just go back with the handball to Zaharakis. Good patience now. Jeddah played every game for the Bombers this year. So is this man Lovett Murray. Short kick on the lead. Mark taken. Here's Big Paddy.
Smart play, Bombers. Held it up really nicely. Instead of blazing it long to McFarlane, who would have just jumped on top of Paddy Ryder's head, they just chopped up a little bit of time. And they worked it through to Paddy Ryder, who took a chest mark, BT, and I saw you smash your biro because he didn't take it out in front.
Oh, I want the Jukes out in front, Jared, if they can possibly do that. And I know this man can. Here he is lining up for goal. About 35 metres out. Breeze coming over his right shoulder. Distance not a problem. All about accuracy with this kick here. He looks to have nailed it absolutely magnificently. The Bombers get there first through Ryder.
And you're right with the patience there, Jared, and that's what you need to do on this ground, especially Melbourne sides come here and they try and play the same way. They get all their forwards to come up the ground, and it's a lot further. It's an extra kick to then readjust and reset as a forward structure. That's why you need the patience. Forward or centre, if you can hit the ball about 70 out from goal, it gives you that one more opportunity for your players, for your forward line players to get back and set up in the right manner so that you can be in a good spot to hit the leader.
Paddy Ryder kicks his 13th goal this year.
Just looking at having a look at the possession stats, the Dockers have had 14. Essendon, who have just kicked a goal, they've had 6, and I reckon 5 of the 6 were involved in setting up that goal.
Very efficient work. Here's an opportunity out of the middle. Griffin got a good piece of it. Down towards Bradley, did his best to trap it. Picked up by Duffield, touched off boot. Won't be a goal if it gets there. But a rush behind in the end.
Hayden, 2 metres, please. Hayden, another metre, please.
So Fletcher with the kick-in duties. Hill makes a lead over this far side, and he comes in this direction right on the header. Hill, good kick. Watson through some traffic, had no inside support runner, so in the end he had to absorb the tackle and paid the penalty. Pavlich, 60 out. Watch Ballantyne at the back. The little man waits. Got it. Ballantyne has taken a mark. 7 metres out. Or has he? I think he has paid the push in the end.
That was a real dart, the kick. Got over the top. Pavlich picked him out early. And then there was a push in the face as well as a mark.
He called front on contact, boys.
Okay, then Jacko, as Ballantyne lines up. Not far out, as you can see, comes in for the 3rd goal for the Fremantle Dockers, and that'll lift his spirits as well.
Well, we've got a couple of goals now from playing on direct from a free kick, and we highlighted that in the first instance, the first passage of play. And that's what they're trying to do, put the Essendon backs under pressure by getting the ball in there quickly, getting the ball in the hands of their users as well. Hill's had a goal assist, and now we look at Pavlich, who gets on the end of this handball here with some smart wraparound run. Give it to the players that need to get some confidence up. Kicks it in long, and another score to the Dockers.
David Myers on Pav. We'll look at that.
All over the clearances here, the Fremantle Dockers out of the middle, giving their forwards first opportunity and quick opportunity. Not much time for the Bombers to react. By Jeff Dalglish to get it underway in the middle. Hill and Ryder in combination today. Griffin is going to do his best along with Zach Clark to take them on.
Thanks, guys. I'll take it now. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Tendai. Thanks, Mark.
Well, the Bombers just can't get the ball in their hands. At the moment, they've only had 7 possessions total as a team in this quarter.
Hill, beautiful body work. Created the drop zone, just couldn't quite run onto it there, Jobe Watson.
On the foot in both dived on it.
And a free kick to the Bombers.
John, I want you to have a look at Zach Clark. He's an interesting character. He probably came to the Dockers as a ruckman, and he looks like he's going to end up playing midfield.
Yeah, he's lining up on a wing at the moment. He's got Monfries as his direct opponent.
De Boer lost it in the sun and created a half opportunity for the Bombers, and now we'll have a ball up as a result, Jono. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's something that Monfries needs to try and exploit that, but Zach Clark, watching him there, and his movement is quite fluent for a big guy, so it's going to be a big challenge to play on a smaller opponent.
Griffin doing the ruck work. Hill in there fighting McFarlane. Little handball. Griffin again nursed the kick. Here's Johnson, Mundy, Main, all the big names. Pavlich, nice handball to make it up. Johnson selling some candy backwards. Hill will want to get onto his left from 50 metres out. Didn't go for home. Ballantyne with one hand out in front. Probably should have taken it on the chest with both hands. Or is that a little harsh? Now Collier for the Bombers on the counter-attack. Kick wasn't what it should have been. Here's De Boer again. He's got on the inside Ibbotson. Mazungu dragged over the line.
Well, they got away with one there because of a drop mark and a push in the back, which I thought was missed by the umpires.
Bring it back to the release handball, though, from Main to Pavlich.
Should have been the first one.
So a ball up here will result in another.
One ball, thank you. No opportunity. Thanks, Jake.
Here's the handball that helped out, as you see Main went wide and a little short, as Jared mentioned, to Pavlich, but that one made up for it, didn't it? He just couldn't get back onto his left.
They've really got to absorb here, BT, the Bombers. They are on top of the ground at the moment, the Dockers, and probably wouldn't hurt to push some back or put extras in around the stoppage, Jono, just to, I guess, get through to the stage where they run out of that absolute energy they're displaying at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And you look at Fremantle's defenders at the moment, they're going man on man right across the ground.
Howlett through the trouble here, was able to kick into the middle of the ground. Thrown out of the way, the Fremantle Dockers, and Main's in there. Look at those red shorts the Bombers are wearing today. They're not exactly a fashion statement, I wouldn't have thought. A throwback to the 70s of the red shorts for the Bombers. See Terry Danaher and the boys wearing those, as we see some bad news for Fremantle. Mundy coming off with some sort of lower right leg injury. Zach Clark through some traffic. Long ball. Johnson again, one-on-one with Fletcher. Over the top, Fletcher. Johnson's worrying him. Here comes Bradley for support. He's been worn at the moment there by Hooker. Back in the Pavlich direction. Down to Glenn Jakovic.
Well, boys, he's just coming off now, so I'll get back to you. He's got to obviously go to the doctors.
What do you reckon, Jacko?
Well, it's lower leg, and he's in a fair bit of pain.
Okay, boundary throw in deep here for the Fremantle Dockers. What a great throw in by the boundary umpire. Went to the front of the goal rather than to the centre of the oval. Here's Zaharakis, scratchy at ground level. Picked it up. De Boer wore him like a glove, and somehow out of there, Fife was able to extract the ball. Grover running past it. Doesn't matter. Got some numbers around here, Crichton.
Pavlich deep. He's got a bloke half his size on him.
And that was Howlett. And here is that match now, but it's on the ground level. Pav won it. Did he get in too high? Lovett Murray appealing ferociously for the free, and it goes against them.
Well, it's just smart play by Pavlich. He was matched up at Howlett at the stoppage, saw that he was oversized, and he decided to stay in the goal square. Delivery didn't really advantage him, and well done to Howlett, who executed well.
Howlett again involved here. This time the ball's been smothered by a hard-working Ballantyne in this first couple of minutes of the game. He seems to be pulling out all stops here today, Hayden Ballantyne. And we see Mundy getting the attention on the lower leg. Here is the injury. You can see just stood on the ankle, so that's a clear ankle injury there. It's Clark. Ballantyne just missed. The Bombers out the back here. An opportunity for Slattery to advance it to Hill. He'll look for the knockdown. It was clever. Hurley tried to get the handball to Hardingham. The Hill kick will get there now. Here is Kyle Hardingham, playing in front of his native Western Australia here today, the boy from Kojonup.
They're the ones, BT, that Essendon need to hit. The easy kicks like that, that's going to allow them to stay in this contest, especially with the taxing effort that the forwards are putting in at the moment up and down the ground.
Didn't look good there, BT, with the doctors down there. They'd be just discussing whether or not he's about to be deactivated to use.
Boys, he's trying to put weight on it, and he can't even stand to put weight up to go for a bit of a jog along the sidelines here, so it doesn't look good. It looks more lateral knee. They're just doing some rotations on his right knee on the lateral side.
Okay. Wait for further news on that. Stevic in the middle of the ground, puts it on the turf. Paddy Ryder doing the ruck work. Both the reserve ruckmen in there at the moment. Slattery out the back door, got it off to Myers. Around the corner, high ball on the head of Hurley. Hustles and bustles with a couple. There's the little man in Collier trying to barge his way through. Might get it done in the end. It was Ibberson able to advance it. Pavlich got to beat a couple. In the air, he did well. Main trying to spin out of the Hardingham tackle, which he did really well. Johnson's been effective up forward. Great vision, great patience to Fife. He'll mark and go back. Set shot goal here for Nate, the Knife, Fife.
Well, there's the dreaded red jacket, and that's a real blow to the Dockers. And a real opportunity for the Bombers to exploit them. Their key midfielder.
See, it's a hasty decision, even if it is right. Here is Fife. 40 metres out directly in front. And he's got that one, so the Dockers kick their fourth.
Well, it was a great kick by Michael Johnson, who I think understands just where he's at this stage. I'm not sure whether they've gone direct to him and said, listen, Jono, it's fire up, or you're going to have a bit of time in the waffle, but his energy and his exploitation so far in this first quarter has been spot on, Jono.
You're right with his energy. Watching him then, when the ball was across half-back for the Dockers, he was on his toes, he was continually moving. Ball falls your way when you're proactive in your movement.
There he is in great form, the knife, Nate Fyfe, and there is the red jacket for Monday, so he has been subbed out of the game, and of course taking his place will be Clayton Hinkley, the nominated sub. Bradley with the backhander over the top. Bombers Myers runs onto it. Handball. Slattery likes his left. Here's Monfries leading to the ball on that occasion. Lower. Monfries around the body. Long ball. Hill did well. Got Grover under the ball, lunging back, but the angle is going to be tough. Right foot banana, I would have thought from here. He'll give that some consideration. Looks inboard first, and it will be the right foot banana. There it is. Just goes back inboard, looking to get it across. Just missed it to the far side.
Wasn't a bad attempt from Hill on that occasion, but getting the ball in longer to himself and Ryder is critical, and they need to mark him on a consistent basis throughout the whole game.
So the Dockers off to a really good start. Positive stuff. Bradley over the top. Lovett Murray was there with Ryder. Watson, a little kick to Zaha Raka. Scratchy. Cramery. Duffield tidies up for the Dockers. They look switched on. They're sharp here, Fremantle. Broughton got the handball back. Here's Ballantyne in space. He's got a runner with him in Fife. He can escort him down the ground. Here's the little man from Mandurah. A double bounce kick over the top. Jonathan Griffin's going to get there. He is. He can run. Play on. Handball to Main. It wasn't in front. Can go over the top. Goes the right foot banana. Got it. Fremantle have got 5 in 15 minutes.
And they may need every one of them, BT, with Mundy going down. The Bombers are going to have another surge here, but you cannot be critical of anything about this Dockers team at the present time. Nice work here. An interesting bouncing technique, Jono, with just the one hand. Haven't seen that before, but it seems to be working for young Ballantyne. And a good decision, unselfish decision to get it on. There was an obvious opportunity to handball again, but I thought he did the right thing there. Main just held it. It was good guarding by Essendon. He delivered the goal.
Main gets a goal, a well thought out goal, because he had several options going through his mind at how he would end up kicking that goal, and in the end he made a good decision. So a fast starting Fremantle, 3 consecutive goals for them.
Got to get some contested ball, the Bombers. They're getting flogged in that department. They're not getting any loose ball. They're not getting any hard ball.
Well, their best at that is Jobe Watson. He's #1 in their team, Jobe. He averages 14 of those contested possessions a game.
He's had just 1 possession to date, BT.
Yeah, and he averages 29 for the game, so he needs to get up there. 4th in the competition, by the way, in average possessions, Jobe Watson, even having missed those games. Here's Ryder and a Monfries right on the logo there, and desperate to get it out was Hinkley, the sub.
The other telling stat, BT, is handball receives 25 to 10 at the moment in Fremantle's way. Their run and energy on top of the ground has been very good.
Fremantle got all their goals from about 5 or 10 metres out too, which is great because they're not all that accurate. They're the worst set shot goal kicking team in the competition, so they've done well to avoid that skill. Jetta looking for the give and go to Cramery. Did well under pressure. Hurley trying to shrug the Grover tackle. A very, very effective tackle it was, forcing him to dispose of it. And a bit of a fresh airy.
Interesting use of Zach Clark. You can see why he's in the side in the midfield. Have a look at him coming 3 deep. Bang. And he hit it to advantage. It was a very, very smart tap. Just a bit like Justin Westhoff he could play, BT. Is that extra tall on the wing?
Hardingham, head over it, shrugged the main tackle. Very strong, Carl Hardingham. Here's Kepler Bradley doing well also. Here's the one-on-one with Griffin and Fletcher. Did well, Griffin, got his body in a good position. Hooker comes in, tidies it up now. The kick's got to be near on perfect here. It's out in front of McVeigh. He's got the young man right on his heels, and Hill, he got rid of it. And that's a good win in the end for Fremantle. Now Watson. Oh, what a magnificent turn from Watson. Handball not great. Straight to Main. The inside ball to Duffield. He's given it a throw.
Well kick, Welshie.
It was a big pickup by the umpire, a costly one. You've got to get the execution right.
Here it is.
Yeah, it was a throw.
Yeah, pay that umpire. Excellent. Heppel in the back half with Fletcher, and now Hooker. Played every game for the Bombers. Hooker kicking not good. Everton back inside to Main, causing trouble. He's got a runner in Johnson wide. He looks back inside and says, I'll go that runner now. There was no inside option. And Johnson from on 50 at the boundary intersection.
Geez, they are not giving Dustin Fletcher 1 second to relax, Jono. He has had 6 different opponents.
Yes, and that's what you mentioned before the game. You can't allow Dustin Fletcher to settle in a position where he becomes comfortable. You've got to make sure he's accountable the whole game through and play through him a little bit.
Johnson comes in from just outside 50, ended up top of the square. Here comes Main. Pavlich in the middle of the pack. Big contested mark from Matthew Pavlich.
That was a good jump and a good grab. And if your man jumps, Jono, you've got to jump with him.
You've got to go. Myers just got caught on the back foot there. And Pavlich took the punt, went for the big grab, was able to pull it down.
For a massive 30-point lead with still 7 minutes in the first quarter remaining. Pavlich comes in. Dockers by 30.
Well, they've hit the wall of Bombers.
Tiger.
They have hit the wall of Bombers. The Tiger just got hold of them, John. They haven't been able to tame him at all. He's been everywhere, and over the top was coming Zach Clark, who wasn't happy with the skipper getting involved because I think he had his eyes on it. I'm just really impressed with this Zach Clark. Just the imagination of the coaching staff just to find a spot for him. I don't think he's going to make it as a ruckman. He hasn't got a big enough body, but as a midfielder, he's got a real chance.
Pavlich gets his first. Have a listen to the names amongst the goals. Ballantyne, Fife, Main, Pavlich, Crowley. Exactly the players they need to play well. They have the worst road record in the competition, the Bombers. Not that this team is responsible necessarily for a lot of those losses on the road. But now at 30 points down, this is going to take an extraordinary effort with, of course, the advantage that Mundy is out of the game, so that'll help them somewhat later in the game if they can get that far. Out of the middle, an opportunity for Myers to hook it around the body. McFarlane certainly got to be in the All-Australian selection. I believe they meet in the middle of this week, the All-Australian selectors, to name a squad of 60. I think that's right, Glenn Jakovic, you're an All-Australian selector, is it?
Yes, that's it this week.
And a squad of 60 can be changed at any time from this time forward, Jack.
Preliminary squad of about that many players, and just to recognise up until round 12, halfway of the season, of their good work.
Michael Johnson doing a superb job. Look at the kick to Griffin. No one deep here for Griffin. He sees a couple of runners wide, ignores those, plows the ball. Ballantyne dangerous over the back, uses the body. Here comes Fife from the boundary. Did he keep it alive? Now Matt Stevic, the field umpire, indicated to the boundary. That's out. Blow your whistle, please.
Griffin started the game well, Jono.
He has, and the good part about that, he got dangerous and was used. Then he was able to kick the ball over Hill's head, who was sitting in the hole.
All the bigs for Fremantle have started well, haven't they? Hooker around the body. Luckily, Jetta was there. The numbers weren't, though. Here's Crichton. Handball off here to Broughton. Tried to nurse one in there to Clancy Pearce. Heppel was taken to the ground. An opportunity for Lovett Murray. Look at the tricks between the legs. Magnificent. Like to see that in replay. That was some real circus stuff. Now Melksham, the boy out of the Calder Cannons. One out of the footy factory there with Marty Ellison and Ian Kite. Here's McFarlane. Backwards. They just look in complete control at the moment, the Dockers. Ball goes wide, got the numbers again here. Kepler Bradley gets it yet again from 50 metres out, didn't get all of it. Good spot, Johnson, did he interfere? Howlett, did he get him over the top? Here's Ballantyne around the body. It's straight over the post, I think it's a behind. It straightened and looked like a goal after it passed the post. And so that, I think, is a correct call from the goal umpire.
Yeah, spot on.
Have a look at this. Look at this. Between the legs, Nathan Lovett Murray.
That'll do.
Hill. Howlett. Under siege at the moment, the Bombers. Jetta worried about the sun. He's got Hurley on down, but Hurley's got nothing forward of him at all. He has to wait.
This is great work by Jetta. Somebody has got to spark this Essendon side. Somebody's got to start working as hard as their opposition units.
Can he take Broughton on? He elects to just do the discipline thing, or perhaps not. Out of bounds on the full in the end.
But the thing with that, Jared, is that he was the one who pushed forward hard. You didn't see anyone else through the middle of the ground pushing hard to complement his run.
He's spot on, John. There's one side working hard out here and the others are spectating.
Look at Fife, able to find space there. Clancy Pearce over the top is on, and I love Clancy Pearce. Well, I love his name. Opportunity now with Hinkley. Just if you've just joined us.
Crowley pushing forward.
Out of the game Monday, been subbed out with a leg injury. And Hinkley gets his chance as a result. Here's Hill. Had a quiet couple of weeks.
Move it on, play on! Play on!
Umpire says move it. Tried to kick it just a little bit too hard. Hill and Melksham combine here.
John, you've played here many times. What does James Hurt do, or start to prepare to do a quarter time to get some life back into his units?
Well, the key is at quarter time is you're not going to get the 6 goals back in one go. You look there and we see the replay. This is the sort of stuff that needs to be highlighted and can be highlighted on laptops at quarter time, because that run's great, but there was no run through the middle of the ground, like we said, for him to send the ball to.
They even use the iPads these days, Jono. I saw it on the preview today. Mzungu already kicked the goal, so they're really technology savvy.
I've got to get up with my technology.
Yes, you're just one unit behind. There's an opportunity for Howlett under the pump in defence. Here's the young gun in Heppel. That is just a magnificent stroke of the ball from Heppel. And Monfrey's down low.
Geez, they need a few players to go with him and support him.
Not a lot of run forward of the ball. Watson offers the lead. Hurley's going to have to go. Right as man McFarlane did the damage. De Boer
off the bench.
Cramery just timed it beautifully, Jared. So it's a sizzling Fremantle Dockers here in the first quarter with 3.5 minutes of it remaining. A 31-point advantage. Clark and Hill over the back to Melksham. Took it out of the air. Correct decision by Melksham. Now McVeigh's got to go. Got the young, youthful legs of Hill to chase. Can he go, the old campaigner? Around the corner, he did well to force some pressure on the kick. Mark Harvey. Some instructions down there.
Well, he's had 6 kicks, Stephen Hill, including setting up the very first goal, which got them going.
Ibbetson's had 8. As you say, Hill and Main and Pavlich have all had 6. The names you want to see at the top of the list.
That's just too easy.
Hinkley, a little poker to Johnson. He's been wonderful as well. Could have almost given it back to Hinkley. Went inside to Duffield, who was manned up, and now they go wide to Hinkley. Too late, wrong decision initially. He caught one high. He'll get a free, Hinkley.
Yeah, I think sometimes Johnson and the Dockers could go back and just kick that ball longer into their smaller forwards. They had him one out. Johnson wanted to handball the ball through. There's the free kick, a little bit high.
Yeah, just slipped down low on the attempted tackle there.
Your Pavlich here ready for the...
Oh, he wanted it.
The lurking around, the players that love to kick from the arc are all on the left and the right of kickers in this position these days. Hinkley says, no, I'm good enough. Well, Hinks, think again. It's a little short. Johnson over the top takes the mark.
Well, it's a good kick by Hinkley. He did know that and they knew that he couldn't make the distance, so they were ready to unload off the 50. But in the end, he just lobbed it in the air. This has been one of the moves of the day to date, Jono.
It is. He's taken 5 marks now, Johnson, and he's certainly been alive. And I think of McPhee when McPhee was out there. He was the life down there, and that allowed Kepler Bradley then to get out. That's the sort of movement they need, and he's been providing it as is Main.
To become the 7th different goal kicker of the quarter for the Fremantle Dockers, and to extend their lead to 37, and he misses. In the end. So it's been a lively forward end for the Dockers.
He just tried to jab that one through and shanked it left.
And Jared, you've seen Fremantle a lot this year. Paul Duffield certainly been down in the last couple of weeks, that rebound, but he's had 5 possessions, 2 inside 50. He certainly looks lively.
Yeah, what I've noticed about him, Jacko, he's been up inside forward 50 a hell of a lot.
Paddy with the big fly there. Over the back, there's Andrew Welsh back in action this week for the Bombers, and they'll welcome him back. His first game for the year, 157 career games. He's worked hard with the Bendigo Bombers. Over the top went Zach Clark as Jonathan Griffin misread the ball. Here's Watson trying to win it at ground level. Ibbotson with a little nudge. So just over a minute remaining now in the shade of the stands. Quite a warm day here in Perth this afternoon. And there goes David Mundy down to the rooms, been subbed out of the game. Lower right leg, we believe. Get a report on him later through Glenn Jakovich.
Bombers have gone inside 50, just 6 occasions, so he should make this 7.
Here's the runners they want involved, Zaharakis and Jeddah. But look at the options downfield. He did really well to hold them up there, Cramery, and contest against a couple.
Now they've got a one-out rider. I'll be backing him in. He can take to the air.
He's going to go in that direction. So here we go. Cramery to Ryder. Ryder off the ball is being held a little. An opportunity dropped in front in the end. And now, I think it might have been Hill that dropped the initial mark. It was. Bounces out to the knife Fife. Mazungu to Bradley. Done well. Hooker did well over the top. Can he keep it alive? He can. So with 30 seconds remaining. Gee, gobbled up Main. He wants Ballantyne to run forward. He has a good look. In the end, he puts it out in front of Ballantyne. Can he beat all comers? He clubs the ball with one hand. 2 for beginners, I would have thought. Ballantyne to the boundary. Oh, the little man just getting slightly ahead of himself.
Got very excited then. He didn't need to handball away. A quick kick forward may have produced a good mark because Johnson once again had worked forward to the goal square.
Oh, he had an open goal, boys. Just kick it into the goal mouth.
Tell you what he's doing, Jacko. He's working his backside off. It's just been fantastic to see him do the Ks.
He has. Over the line with a couple of seconds left in this quarter.
He spent arms on, hands on knees.
The little poor pie. Of course, nicknamed the little poor pie as a result of Jason Portpleasure, him looking the smaller version of him. If you know what I mean, Jono, you probably don't.
I
Zach
do,
Clark
yes.
over the top. Siren sounds, electric quarter of football if you're a Fremantle Docker fan, because they lead it by 32 points. The Bombers need to fire. Have they got something in this second quarter? We'll find out on the other side of the break. 6-3-39 to 1-1-7.